Hello, welcome to Nonverbal Reasoning Practice with Austin Education. I'm Mr. Seal. There we go, Mr. Seal, in case you forget. Today we'll be looking at a type of nonverbal reasoning, look at some tips as well. 3 tips I'm going to give you today. Number 1, familiarize yourself with the question styles. There are a list of question styles, but if I give you those, they'll be too boring. Here's a quick 3-second showing of them. You could also see there the probability that one will come up. You can see that some of them come up pretty much in every paper, and you can see that some of them might come up 1 in every 6 papers. We're going to practice them. There's no point in remembering what type of questions come up. I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important. Let's just practice, okay? Tip 2, focus on one thing at the time. Life can be overwhelming. Non-verbal reasoning tests can be overwhelming, especially when there's so many different shapes and colors and sizes and everything. So when you do get your paper, maybe cover up all the other questions. I don't know, your hand, a pencil case, whatever you've got, water bottle on its side, make sure the lid's put on first. And then look at one question and then just focus on that. Tip 3, ideally we can develop our core skills a bit. Practice, looking at these videos, doing your own practices. And one way to practice our core skills, one thing that can be really difficult is that rotation and reflection. Some people's minds can look at it and go, okay, I can see that. And some people's can't. Doesn't make anyone better or worse than anyone else, because everyone's mind is different. You could get some tracing paper, and if you really can't see what I'm doing with these examples, then get some tracing paper and then draw it out and then sort of rotate it or turn it around, and then it's reflected, and then you might be able to see, okay, that's what's going on. So without further ado, let's have a look at 5 questions. Okay, I'm looking at number 1 first. I'm not going to look at the example, sorry. I'm going to look at number 1 first, and I can definitely see a rotation here. I can see that these shapes that kind of look like one of those old-fashioned masks, glasses thing, keeps getting rotated. And I could turn my head around, but I've done enough of these now to not have to turn my head around. But feel free to turn your head around, no one's looking. What I can see here is there's a line coming out right, there's a line going out down, there's a line going out left. So here there'll be a line going up, because that's the other side, that's the only side that's left. So a line going up, I could see it could be A, it's definitely not B. It could be C, and it could be D. Now I know that the line coming up is quite near the middle, so it can't be D, sorry D. So it could be A or C, but then I'm looking at A and C and the difference, and I can see right here that it does look like those glasses in a mask, and you've got everything going one way, just like all of these do. So I know it can't be A, and it's got to be C. This could be a tracing paper one. Feel free to get your tracing paper out. Do pause the video at any point if you want to have a look before I rabbit on giving you the answer. Do have a go first. This is not the sort of video where you just stare at it and then go, oh yeah. Do pause it and have a go yourself. Looking at number 2, I can see a bit of a reflection line going on here. I'm looking at the left 2. On the left-hand side, we can see a dot, white semicircle, black semicircle, and again, dot, white semicircle, black semicircle. On the other side, I can see half a dot, black semicircle, white semicircle with stripy lines. So as a result, the one that's missing, which will be reflected, needs a black dot, a black semicircle, and a white semicircle with stripes. I'm very tempted to look at C and D because they look so similar, and that bit in the middle is exactly what I'm looking for. Black semicircle at the top, white semicircle, stripes at the bottom. But the key is to look at the dot, this bit here, this bit here. And I can see that just like here, the dot is joining nicely in the middle. So it's going to have to be an upper dot. So it has to be D. I almost said the wrong one. It has to be D. There we go. Moving on, we've got diagonal lines crossing in the middle, which looks lovely. There we go. So the diagonal line is going that way. So I've got to make sure my pen keeps doing that to make sure I get the right one. Okay, it's not that one. It could be any of these, which on the surface can seem a bit annoying. But then I'm looking at the shape that joins onto the diagonal line, and it joins on clockwise. So I've got a diagonal line and then clockwise. Got a diagonal line and then clockwise. I've got a diagonal line and then something going that way clockwise. got a diagonal line or something going that way clockwise. So I want this diagonal line to do this. It's almost like a part of a triangle there. So I'm looking at, it could be this one. Oh, that one doesn't go clockwise. Oh, that one doesn't go clockwise. It's not those two. These are getting tougher. If you want to pause it or look at the video again, you can always message me and say, what are you on about, Mr. Sale? I've got no idea what you're talking about. And I can even do a little individual video if it's really tough. Next one, number 4. Okay, I'm seeing that into this middle horizontal line, we've got 5 lovely squares, 5 lovely squares, 5 lovely squares. They're all quite near to each other. So it could be that one, it could be that one, because the 5 lovely squares is going to be at the top of this remaining one. Can't be that one, it could be that one. Okay, it's what they often do, whittle out one by one. Next, we've got the white circle, and it's going towards the middle. So the white circle is quite close to the middle. We've got a white circle near the middle, near the middle, near the middle. Near the middle here would mean it have to be here, just below the white squares on the left-hand side. So it still could be A, can't be B anymore, and it still could be D. And looking at the difference between A and D, I've got the white square and the white square and the white circle and the black square not quite on the same line, whereas on D, they are the same height. So I've got to look, after all my silly squiggles, got to look over here, and I can see that all of these, the black square is not quite on the same line as the white circle. So can't be this one, sorry, D. We remain with A, hooray! And on to number 5, which is the one that gives me the biggest headache. So one that I sort of pause the video, can't do it off the cuff, and I've got to go, wait, what's going on here? And what I do is I look at all of these squares, all of these quartiles, and every single one has a double square, double white square at the top right and bottom left. Double right square, top right, bottom left. Double right square, top right, bottom left. So we need a double white square, top right, bottom left. It's not rotating into the middle, which can be a bit confusing because lots of the other ones did. And again, letter C has top double square, white double square, top right and bottom left. So it can't be B and D because these squares in the top right, bottom left corner have a black bit in the middle. At least some of them do. Okay, now the key is in the difference between C and A. And looking at C, I'm looking at the bottom right-hand corner because this is the only difference. Those horizontal and vertical lines are dotted. Whereas in A, we've got a dotted one and we've got a thick straight one. So looking at the patterns here, bottom right corner, we've got dotted and not dotted, dotted, not dotted, dotted, not dotted. So it's got to be like A, which is dotted, not dotted. So it can't be C because that's double dotted. There we go. Lovely, thank you. Watch out for my next video coming out soon. Bye.